Good, happy Tuesday evening, November 2nd, 2021. I'm Riley King. Welcome to this Tuesday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Tuesday evening, so let's get started right now. First up, CDC advisors vote to recommend giving COVID-19 vaccine to kids ages 5 to 11. Vaccine advisors to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention voted Tuesday to recommend giving Pfizer's child-sized dose of coronavirus vaccine to children ages 5 to 11. Sununu urges COVID-19 vaccinations for children once approved. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
That subdivision won't build itself. You need equipment that's built smart so you can work smarter. That's built.
As the CDC moves toward full emergency approval of the pediatric COVID-19 vaccine for kids age 5 to 11, Governor Chris Sununu says parents who want to get shots for their children should look to pharmacies first.
We are eagerly awaiting a final and full approval of the vaccine for kids 5 to 11. And as soon as that approval is granted, we do expect some pharmacies will be ready to administer it almost immediately. Some may take a week or two to get their final shipments in, but we'll have a lot of availability for parents if they so choose to make that choice for their kids.
State epidemiologist Dr. Benjamin Chan is recommending and strongly encouraging vaccinating eligible children.
Regionally and across the United States, currently about 1 in 4, or 25% of infections, are occurring in children under the age of 18. We certainly have seen hospitalizations nationwide increase across the country in children during this recent surge. And thankfully in New Hampshire, the rate of hospitalization in children has continued to be low.
Trailing the pharmacies will be the state effort, with school-based clinics delayed by the Executive Council's rejection of $27 million in CDC funding. State health officials are still looking for a workaround to fully fund that effort.
We're working on it right now. I think what I can say is that the programs that were slated for that $27 million, they will go forward. We will find a way.
Booster shots are also ramping up. Governor Chris Sununu, who was vaccinated in April, says he will likely receive his booster shot sometime next week. Reporting live in Concord, Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Four more die in New Hampshire of COVID-19 as hospitalizations decline. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
That subdivision won't build itself. You need equipment that's built smart so you can work smarter. That's built to deliver more comfort, more productivity, more get it done right. That's built around a durable Kubota engine you can depend on. With skid steers, track loaders, wheel loaders, and the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup shows up ready to work every day. Visit your local dealer today.
Where best means second to none, MD.
New Hampshire has seen 20 deaths related to COVID-19 in the last 7 days. DHHS reporting 4 new deaths tonight. There are 380 new confirmed cases, with 39 from a case backlog. State epidemiologist Dr. Benjamin Chan says New Hampshire has been averaging 500 to 600 new cases per day.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire health officials work to restore accurate data to COVID-19 Dashboard. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
That subdivision won't build itself. You need equipment that's built smart so you can work smarter.
Well, Tom, for the last few weeks, the COVID dashboard on the DHHS website has not been very accurate. There's been an issue with those trying to provide information and for the state to collect it. Now, HHS says that the surveillance system that healthcare providers use to notify the state of COVID cases went down for a few days, which prevented providers from being able to submit their new reports and for HHS to be able to access them. Once the issue was resolved, there was a backlog of information that the state has been working through. State epidemiologist Dr. Benjamin Chan said today that the new 10-digit phone system, having to dial the area code first now, also affected fax machines, which was another issue. He hopes the dashboard will be up to date in the coming days.
We expect to be working through that over the next few days, and so I think that the hope is that specifically the infection numbers and the test positivity numbers will become more and more accurate and up to date over the course of this week, and hopefully into the beginning of next, that things will be resolved.
Now, Dr. Chan also says that the collection of information has a lot to do with the level of COVID in the communities. The more cases there are, the more reports are coming in, and on a regular basis, there is somewhat of a lag between the time the report comes in and the cases get added to the state's count. Live in Concord, Jason King, WMUR News Now.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Man accused of being a felon in possession of a firearm in connection with Seabrook death investigation. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
When you're launching a home improvement project, quality lumber from our drive-through lumber yards makes all the difference. At Bell Tate's Building Supply, you'll find a wide selection of the lumber and building materials you need for any project.
Visit us at belltates.com or any of our 9 locations.
37-year-old Garito Fort arraigned on one charge of being a felon in possession of a firearm in connection with the ongoing suspicious death investigation in Seabrook. Police were called to 19 Boynton Lane just after 9 yesterday, discovering one man dead in the driveway, another suffering from a gunshot wound. Authorities say Garito lives at that address and initially ran away from the scene. His defense citing a potential claim of self-defense.
In which he references being hit, which is consistent with at least one of the eyewitnesses' statements. It is clear he was confronted by multiple people brandishing aluminum bats, metal pipes.
The state asking the judge to rule on bail based only on the fact that he's a convicted felon that should not have been armed.
It's the defendant who walks out of his home in a place of relative safety with a firearm in his hand.
Calling Ford a danger to himself and others, citing Massachusetts convictions.
So we're not just talking about the defendant's historical violence that has continued up, and as most recently with the charges and the convictions of kidnapping, assault, and battery with a deadly weapon in multiple different ways. It's also the open civil restraining order that additionally prevents him from having a firearm.
Now, his defense attorney says that he has a job and has been trying to turn his life around. Meantime, the judge says he wants to learn more about those past convictions and will hold off on a final bail ruling once there's an evidentiary hearing in about a week. In the meantime, he will stay behind bars. We're live in Seabrook. Jennifer Crompton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Live coverage Wednesday, celebration of life service for fallen Staff Sergeant Jesse Shirley. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
That subdivision won't build itself. You need equipment that's built smart so you can work smarter. That's
A celebration of life for Staff Sergeant Sherrill will be held in Manchester tomorrow morning. It will start at 11 a.m. at SNHU Arena. It is open to the public. Anyone attending is asked to arrive by 10:30 in the morning. Traffic closures in the area will start. at 7 a.m.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Manchester mayor candidates make final push for voters. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Well, that's right. Mayor Craig and Victoria Sullivan were out working the crowds today, trying to secure as many last-minute votes as possible. The incumbent Craig is aiming for her third term as mayor for the state's largest city. She says Manchester has made great strides under her leadership while faced with some challenges, such as COVID-19 pandemic. But her challenger, Victoria Sullivan, says it's time for a change. She says the city is heading in the wrong direction with Craig at the helm. She says she is the candidate that will help move the city forward in areas including education and decreasing the crime rate. But as we approach closing time at the polls, both candidates say they feel optimistic.
We've gone through a difficult 2 years with COVID. We've made decisive action in terms of making sure our community is healthy and safe, while at the same time we've made tremendous progress. And I look forward to working with our community to continue that progress and move the city forward.
Everybody that's coming out has been so enthusiastic, give me a thumbs up or a pat in the back and saying, that they're very confident in this election. And we're all in it to save our city. It's not about me. It's not about any one candidate. It's about taking our city back.
All right, so if you live here in Manchester and you haven't cast your vote yet, you still have time. Polls close here at 7 o'clock. Reporting live in the Queen City, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great rest of your Tuesday evening and see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. Good night and goodbye, everyone.